entire world is being really smart.
Welcome to Smart as Sexy, the podcast where we discuss self-development, love, business, spirituality, and becoming a smarter, sexier human. I am your host, Kelsi.
And I'm Celeste. Welcome to our show, y'all. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe, leave us a review, and send to a friend. Today we have our girl Parker Noriega on. She's a celebrity stylist and an influencer, and we're going to be talking to her about her career and her personal life and dating and lots of other fun things. Thank you for being here. We're so happy to have you.
I'm so happy to be here.
Bro, as long as we've been friends, I've actually never heard your last name said out loud. No.
Really?
That's crazy.
No, I've never, I've just, it's always just been Parker. Obviously, I knew your last name, but I've never heard it. So I was like, oh, that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have a cute name, actually.
Yeah, it's a great
Parker's
name.
a cute name.
Parker Blaine Noriega.
And we're popping your podcast virginity today.
Yes, you are.
Or no, not, you don't pop a virginity, you pop a cherry. Right?
Yeah.
Pop a virginity.
We're popping your cherry. We're taking your podcast virginity. Well, we're super excited.
Saying 1,682 that Celeste would get.
Dude, I cannot. I butcher every saying. Granted, I butcher them, but you all always know what I'm talking about.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
she texted me and she was like, yeah, I'm just like a floating duck. And I was like, it's a sitting duck, but like, it's okay.
Oh, is it a sitting duck? Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I always get them wrong. But everyone always knows.
But I understood what she was saying. So I was like, okay, yeah.
The only time it backfires on me is when I'm trying to insult someone. Like if I'm like, oh, you're not the sharpest crayon. And it's like, that's not the saying. It's like the sharpest tool
In the shed.
Yeah. And then it's like, so maybe I'm not the sharpest crayon, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
We're working on it.
Oh, okay. So we start off every podcast episode with a good news minute. So do you want to go first or do you want us to whatever?
I can go first.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, I just restarted working with a client of mine who I love so much. And I'm really excited about that.
Are we like allowed to know who it is or?
I mean,
Or no, is it secret?
Yeah, no, it's not secret.
Okay.
It's Nessa.
Oh, yay.
good.
Okay, I didn't even know you guys stopped working together. So now you're back working together
We're back
again.
working together and I'm really happy about it. Couldn't
Okay,
be happier.
great.
Great.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay, so I'm excited to talk. We'll get into that when we talk about your work stuff because
Okay.
I think that's like something that's like so interesting. You styling like all these up and coming celebrities and stuff is such an interesting vantage point. But first, ma'am, what's your good news minute?
I'm going to Spain and I'm so excited. I've been like trying to plan outfits. Actually, before you leave, I should like run through what I was planning to pack.
For sure. I'll help you out.
Before you leave.
Actually, before you leave today, because I'm so excited. It's really challenging packing because I can only bring like one small suitcase for a 2-week vacation.
No, you're lying.
I'm not
That's
lying.
That's illegal.
Because
I'm
of how
suing.
much
No.
we're traveling while we're there, like the trains, you have to like pay an extra fee in order to have multiple bags. And also I don't really want to cart multiple suitcases
Yeah.
because it's such a pain. And my boyfriend's family, like they're not high maintenance at all. Like even the girls are like, yeah, that's fine. Just like one small bag. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
Just one?
You're a little bougie. It's gonna be a little hard
I was
for
like,
you.
this is really challenging. So I was like, okay. So I'm like trying to cut down like what makeup I'm bringing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, we're doing minimal makeup while I'm there. So I'm going to have to ask you to be like, hey, how's this going to pan out? I'm like Googling how you like fold things and like make as much
my
space in your
God.
suitcase.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
So yeah, that's my good news minute.
So excited.
Yeah, I'm jealous. Okay, well, mine is more exciting than both of yours. I've been rewatching Desperate Housewives, and I'm like on season 7 already, which like happened really fast, and I'm obsessed. And then I figured out that the coffee shop that they go to in the show is down the street. So I went to that coffee shop, and it's like the worst coffee I've ever had, to be honest. But I was so excited. I was like, I live on Wisteria Lane, which I kind of do, given like the way our street looks. It
Have
does
you
look
been
like
on
Wisteria
Wisteria Lane? Like in the
Universal
Yeah.
Studios. Well, is that where the tram goes?
Yeah.
So then, yeah.
Okay.
I went for your birthday. We went.
Yeah.
So, but I also live on Wisteria
Wait.
Lane.
Well, I was there. Was I not?
Were you there? Yeah, you were there.
That's for my birthday. Yeah, we were there for my birthday.
I was
we
like,
went
wait,
to
Universal. I was there.
Yeah, okay, so on the tram, on the Universal Studios tram, they take you down Wisteria Lane.
yeah.
But the coffee shop they go to is like right down the street. And so I figured it out the other day because I've been watching it and like they've been shooting there more. So I I'm like not, I've never been a
could have
fangirl.
sworn I had told you this because like I've taken you there.
No, I know, but that's how I knew that's how I knew where it was. Cause I was like, that looks so familiar.
You're like, I've been there.
Yeah. And it's just funny because I've never been like a fangirl of anything, but like when I was there, I was like, oh my God, Susan was just here. Like
You're missing out on being a fangirl because sometimes being a fangirl is fun where you like, there's moments or certain things where you're like, oh
yeah. So I had that experience. And so I was a fangirl. So anyways, just
Love
Spain.
Love Desperate Housewives.
semi-exciting. Desperate Housewives coffee shop. Very exciting.
Your terrible coffee experience that you had,
Yeah,
but you're
coffee,
at.
though.
So bad. Okay, so that's mine. So now we can get into you. Okay, so the premise of the show, as you know, is we talk about like love, spirituality, business, self-development, all those things Kels just named.
Totally.
So we kind of will break it up. So let's start a little bit with like your background, where you're from, how you got to the job you have now, because I think this is something that a lot of our listeners are going to listen in because they want to know how you got here.
Totally. Well, I'm from Laguna Beach in California, born and raised. And when I graduated college, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. My family friend at the time happened to be dating a huge stylist based in LA, whose clientele was like Ariana Grande, Normani, Bella and Gigi Hadid. And I was like so amazed and fascinated. And we ended up getting to talk. And then she was leaving for Fashion Week, I think. And then when she got back, I went up to her house. We had a meeting and she hired me to be an assistant. And after the first week in, I fell in love. It was just something came over and I was like, this is exactly what I was meant to do. Things like that, opportunities like that never happen.
Yeah.
Especially like in LA. I don't know. Like it was just, I just moved back from New York. I went to school at Pace University in the city. And yeah, I was moving to LA with my best friend. And yeah, it was just really exciting. So she hired me and I fell in love with it. And I've loved it every day since.
Kels, didn't you try to be a stylist and hate it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I also moved to Los Angeles to be a stylist. I went to FITM and I was like, I'm going to be the next Rachel Zoe. Because at the time, like when I was in high school, like the Rachel Zoe project was huge. Oh, fuck. Oh. Shoe fly. So yeah, when I was in high school, the Rachel Zoe project was like a huge deal.
Huge.
So I was like, I'm going to move there and I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assisted for a stylist who was not. I hope she doesn't listen to this, but she was not. And I think I was just like, you're mean and I don't really want to do this. And so I thought, because I was like my impression of all stylists then, I was like, they must all be terrible. I'm not doing this anymore. So I quit.
I feel you.
Apparently that was not
Kelsey's calling, but it was yours. So that's good.
But just to say, it wasn't like, oh my God, wow, I just magically woke up and chose fashion or just loved fashion. No, like my mom has always had a huge influence over me when it came to fashion. Like when I was a kid, she would just tell me all about like Tom Ford and Alexander McQueen, who are two of her favorite designers. And like my freshman year of college, I had an internship in New York with a fashion designer and I hated it. I was like, this sucks. He's an asshole. Like this is like horrible. The way he treats his employees, it wasn't cool. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like work hard and like hopefully one day just be able to like afford like all of like what I want. Like I don't know, even though, because I was just like, to me it's art. It's beautiful. Like I'm obsessed with fashion. I love it. I've always loved it since I was a kid. So yeah. So then when that opportunity came to me, like it was just full circle and it made sense. And it like I'm just so appreciative of this woman who gave me my career. And I ran into her recently, and I told her like, thank you so much because. Like she made me who I am today.
Yeah. And so obviously we've been friends with you for years. So we've kind of like seen your trajectory, like when you started to now, which is so exciting for us.
Yeah.
So can you tell our audience now, like who kind of like, you don't have to drop everyone, but like who you style or like what is like your personal like mantra as a stylist, just like some background as to like who you are as a stylist.
Yeah. So I could just like name like clients that I've like worked with on my own currently and past. Like there's Jaden Hostler, Nessa Barrett, Charlie Jordan, Kim Petras, Alicia Marie, Remy Cruz, Carmela Rose, Nylea Devora. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
the
like,
list
I'm
goes
just,
on
the list
and
goes
on
on.
and on.
I'm just like, yeah, the list goes on. And yeah, I'm like more of like a street style kind of grungy girly. I've really started off with Nessa. And yeah, like opened up with, like, I'm so happy to be working with her again because I feel like she's like always been my muse. Like, like her and I really work well together and bounce off each other very well when it comes to like styling and creative direction. Just like kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love when stylists do have like a touch that like is like their personal work. You know what I mean? Like some stylists, I feel like you would just never know if like someone just walked into a store or like that was put together for them. So I do love, which I guess it doesn't matter because it's not like they care about what I have to say, but I love when there is a stylist where you're like, you just know, you're like, oh, that was like her vibe, or there was something like custom about it, or there was something that was just like, yeah, even when you say like Nessa's your muse, I'm like, I can really see that between you and her. And like other things that I've seen you put people in, I'm like, oh yes, this has Parker written all over it.
When you're working with someone, is it like, do you find that like anyone will just hit you up, or is it typically people that like really like your style? Because like with a stylist, are you like, oh, okay, like I like their style, so I want to work with them, or do you venture out past like the grungy street style vibe into other areas where a client would be like, oh, I want a little bit more of like a tailored look, or something that has like a little bit of like an old money feel, because that's like really popular right now because of Sophia Richie. Totally. Are those things that you're like, oh yeah, I'm down to work with whoever, or do you have a specific type of client you look for?
I definitely have a specific client I look for, but also all of my clients have different styles too.
Yeah.
Like this girl Carmela, who I started working with recently, like she isn't like a grungy girly. She's like very put together, and I like love that. And like we create really, really amazing looks together. Yeah. And yeah, but of course, like I look at people that like where I know I wouldn't work well with them. You know, I'm just like, you know, I wouldn't even.
For sure.
Like there's so many other amazing stylists that could totally handle them.
Yeah. So so you like are working with these up and coming celebrities and or celebrities, they're on red carpets, and like you're very much in kind of like that LA scene. You're pretty like, I would say, well known in that industry. So how do you like keep yourself grounded, or what as you grow your career, like what starts to matter more to you? How do you like stay sane in that world?
Honestly, just good people around me.
Yeah.
I only surround myself with really good people and people that are motivated and just have my best interests at heart, and vice versa.
Yeah, because like we work in that scene too, and I think one thing that has been hard over the years is like you deal with so many crazy people and you're like, I'm good. I don't want to talk to anyone ever again, you know?
Yeah.
It's like so common, I feel like, in our industry.
Living in this industry, and I really, because like you do have to live in the industry.
100%.
It can make you a little bit jaded at times, where you're just like, I'm going to move to a remote island and never talk to anyone ever again.
At like the beginning of this year, I was like, literally like, do I move back to New York? Do I move to London? Like, I just like, sometimes LA is so much that
it's a lot.
I just like need to get the hell out of here. This place can just really like...
LA's a lot because it's like it moves so fast. It's like overwhelming all the time. And then there's just like an energy where it's just like, and it's like you kind of have to keep up with it because it's like, it's a system. You know what I mean? Like it's a system, not a person. So it's like even though you don't necessarily want to play the game, like to get ahead in any career that you want that's based in LA, you have to play the game.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, it's like politics. Like you don't have a choice. It's sink or swim. So it is really like overwhelming. And like, I mean, that's why we moved to the Valley, which is like not that big of a difference, but like
no, I get it. I understand.
Yeah,
get
because
the hell away from West Hollywood where all the toxic shit is.
It is, and it's like, okay, yeah, you have to go over there and have meetings and do dinners and like keep up appearances, but then to like come home on this side of the hill, you're like, oh, you live on Wisteria Lane.
I do.
See, like that's the goal, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, okay. So, and I think something that's interesting about your positioning and also ours is just that a lot of people look on social media or they look, you know, whatever, and they're like, oh my God, I want that. Like, I would not be surprised if there are hundreds of thousands of girls who are like, oh my God, I want to live Parker's life. So for those girls,
I want to live Parker's life.
don't we all? We all want to live Parker's life.
Let's be real.
Well, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah. So for anyone in our audience who wants that, do you have like advice, like knowing what you know now, being where you are now, like what advice would you give to somebody who's like maybe 17, 18, 19 starting out that wants to take your trajectory?
Follow your dreams. Don't let anyone put you down. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I feel like also just knowing you, like you have pretty thick skin. I feel like you do a really good job with navigating the bullshit.
Hell yeah, I do.
Actually, I would say both of you do. Like you have pretty thick skin too.
Yeah, Kelsey, you do. You're tough.
Yeah. Did you have a family that like teased you a lot?
Not family, but I grew up around a bunch of like boys.
Okay,
and so they
that
would
will help.
always like, they would tease me and stuff, and it made me hella strong.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I had like a really like I love my family. We're all very close, but like in our family, if you don't have thick skin, you will spend your evenings crying because like you're just like they tease you and then it's like you just got to give it right back because it's all out of love, but you're like, oh wow, okay. So yeah, that's where the thick skin comes from. So yeah, the being around a lot of boys thing.
Yeah, like I literally would get woken up like getting shot with like BB guns and stuff.
Yeah,
back in the day.
You'd be like, that's fun.
That's so fun.
Yeah. Which is also 1 year for my birthday, I told Celeste I wanted a Nerf gun.
Oh my gosh.
And so then I would just shoot it at her all the time. And I was like, you've never had siblings. Like, this is the stuff that you
that
do.
was my
This is so fun.
I never had siblings. So when she said I want a Nerf gun, I bought her one. I didn't buy me one. So every day I was just like defenseless.
You fucked up.
Well, yeah, I learned that lesson.
Fucked up.
I learned that lesson the hard way.
Actually,
Clearly.
just recently, my brother found the Nerf gun in my place in Utah. And he was like, oh, game. So, but we only have one.
Yeah.
So it's been a rough time.
That's my fault.
Yeah. No, 100%. It is her fault.
Yeah. But okay. And then along with keeping yourself grounded, what about like spirituality? We talk a lot about spirituality on this podcast.
Yeah. And I see that you post a lot like on your Instagram stories, just like things about God. And so like when LA gets crazy and when life gets insane, what are things that you are doing for yourself that kind of like bring you back? Like you said, you keep like you're around good people, but what are things that you do without people around?
I definitely pray all the time, pray every day. And I go to church. Church is only once a month here, but it's okay. Church home, shout out. Once a month, I love it. It's so good. And then I just like have like Parker days. I call them Parker days.
Yeah.
Where this may sound like so LA bullshit. I'm so sorry. But like I literally just like will get my nails done, get my hair done, get like a massage, like do like yoga, meditate, do Pilates, like just something like or go the sauna, like the infrared sauna and do a cold plunge, just something to where I like need a full reset. Like I love a full reset. And like for me, that makes me happy.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But yeah, I definitely like pray every day because, you know, I have a lot to be grateful for. So yeah.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I feel like I need those moments because sometimes I also need like forced meditation because it's like, could I just jump in and meditate at any point of the day? Sure, theoretically. But sometimes I have to like force myself, which like the sauna does that because you don't have any options.
You have no option. And you listen to that meditation like music in there and you're like,
yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
The one I'm gonna do next, we already paid for it, but we haven't gone, is like a salt room. I've never done one of those. Have you guys done one
like
of those?
the deprivation tank?
I don't know. It's like a Himalayan salt room. It's just it's a bunch of salt.
I don't know about
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then it's like
thing.
It's neither did I. So we found it. It's right next to the Blue Bottle in Woodland Hills, and we found it. And yeah, it's like a little salt room. I don't know. I haven't done it yet, so I'll report back.
Okay,
but they
that's
also do
cool.
like sound baths in the salt room. So and it's just all salt.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing a sound bath soon.
Yeah, I need to do
gonna
one
like
too.
I need like full like
I thought you were going to say I'm like
Full
really
vibes.
into salt.
I'm like really into salt. Himalayan salt especially. Here for you. Yeah, love salt.
Yeah,
salt.
that's the one. That's the one I'm gonna do soon. So I'll let you guys know.
Yeah,
Please
no,
do.
I'm curious.
I got you.
For sure. Okay, so you have a pretty, I mean, I think you have a large social media following, like across like TikTok and Instagram. And something for me that I feel like I'm so insecure about posting things, like whether it be pictures or videos, and when I'm like talking to the camera, I'm like, this is so awkward. Do you ever feel that way, or are you just like, no, I'm putting it out. I don't care. Like I'm doing my thing.
Oh no. I'm like very like picky. And like it's takes a team to come up with a good photo. Shout out to my bestie Alex for getting those angles all the time.
Alex is here in the background, which is why we keep like peeking over in the corner.
And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know Alex is pretty much on my story every single day or in all of my freaking posts. So that's my best friend.
She's in the studio right now. So shout out.
Yeah, we keep
Shout
like
out,
peeking
Alex.
over in the corner.
Oh my God, yes.
I keep wanting to like join the conversation.
Okay, for anyone who couldn't hear that, she said she keeps wanting to join the conversation.
And honestly, she can just come sit on my arm.
yeah, you can literally just chime in whenever you feel like
Sit
it.
here whenever you want to come chime in. Seriously.
No, for real. Next time we can do like an extended version with the four of us. We'll just do like girl chat.
Can we
and
like
we'll
get drunk and do it?
Yeah.
Oh my
We
God.
could definitely
Honestly, wait,
do that.
we need full
We'll
editing.
do a full audio special.
Because you guys know how I can get. No filter over here.
Oh, we know.
Like
That
the
would be-
public cannot know
I
what
literally,
you two know.
I literally told Mans, I was like, Parker is unlike any person you've ever met.
100%.
And he's like, I really want to meet her. I was like, you have to just experience her because you're gonna be like, wait, what did you just say?
My version of Mans, my version.
My version.
He loves it because sometimes if I'm with her and we FaceTime him and you just never know what's gonna come out of her mouth. And so he's always like, wait, wow, but he loves it. It's like so exciting for him because it's just there's just also no transition with you. So it's just you keep us on the edge of our seat
all the time.
Yeah, that was right.
Oh, that was right. Okay.
That was right.
I was
You
gonna
did a
say
good
edge of our
sister.
toes, but then I was like,
Keep you on your toes and at the edge.
okay, I was gonna say edge of our toes, but I got it. Yes,
You did it. No,
love
that's so
that.
funny.
Love that for me. Okay. Anyway, so you don't get insecure, but you did recently, like
Wait,
obviously
don't get insecure?
I mean, you do get insecure about what you're posting, is what you were saying.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You get nervous,
Oh, of course. Yeah.
but you do it anyway.
I mean, I kind of have to.
Yeah, true.
I feel like you guys get that. Like you guys have to do it.
I mean, I need to do a better job.
You've been better.
I'm trying a little
slaying.
bit.
I see your TikToks.
A little bit. I'm trying. I just
Celeste everyone on her TikTok.
I just always
She's slaying.
forget too. I always forget about it because it's either like I'm in the phase or I'm not. I'm either in a content phase or I'm not. I'm not one of those. I'm not like gradually there every day.
No, I feel you. It's just like a lot. I'm also like, I
just always forget. Like I've been sitting on something and I'm like, oh, I need to post that for like 3 weeks. I just forget. Like I don't know how people remember.
Yeah.
It's literally crazy. Like I'll have like a calendar of like when to make content. And
Yeah,
and I know what's
I
coming
need
in where
to
I
do
can
that.
like be dressed in, or like do I need to do like a styling content video? Do I need to like edit a video or like I don't even know.
Kels,
it's just so much.
We need
It's
to
so
do
much.
that. For everyone who's like follows the Smart Sexy Instagram, they're like, yeah, you do need to do that because we'll post like one day, then like ghost.
It's hard to be consistent. Like my goal is literally to start being more consistent and posting
Same.
at least like 3 times a week.
I know.
Because I'm like a once every few weeks kind of girl, or I'll have like moments where it's like
Yeah.
every
We're
day.
like back to back to back, and then you're like, then you don't see me for a month.
nothing.
No,
I
like,
go,
literally.
yeah.
But it's hard, like having a business that's also like your personal brand. It's so
Yeah.
hard to do it all.
Tell me about it.
I'm out every freaking day pulling and working and checking things in, literally from 9 a.m. to like 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And then it's like have to make room for content. Now I'm like started a new Instagram account where it's like me posting style inspo.
Right.
And that's also takes a lot of work
Yeah.
too. But you know, obviously I like love this stuff, so it's worth
Yeah.
it. But it's
No, for
but
sure.
I'm still learning how to find that balance
Yeah.
of how to do it all.
No, I
Of-
feel-
the content takes a long time.
Listen,
but
you're
it's
preaching
worth
to the choir because we are also trying to figure out how to even get to that point,
Yeah.
get to that balance. But I will say, like, we, having been friends with you for the past, like, however many years, we've seen like your growth on socials and your influencer growth. So that's been really exciting for us. Like, we've kind of just like watched you really like start to blow up, what would you say, when did that kind of start happening for you? Because I feel like you went from like being you and posting your outfits to then posting like celebrities that you were styling, and like to the audience it might have seemed like it happened overnight.
it. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, I definitely have archived a lot of stuff,
Oh.
so like you won't see much. But I would say my following definitely started to grow when I got like Nessa and Jaden as clients, and then definitely after my brother's passing, it just blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is like it's a very unfortunate.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not
trade-off.
like I'm,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
Do
I don't know how to
you
describe it. It's just,
mind just like talking about your brother a little bit? I know you guys were like the best of friends.
yeah.
Do you mind like kind of telling us a little bit, because it was almost a year ago, is that right?
Yeah, almost a year ago,
Okay.
June 9th.
Okay.
Last year he passed.
It's crazy. I remember exactly where I was when I found out, and when I texted you, I was like completely in shock, and I started crying because I was like, this is so emotional. Do you mind?
And the internet like exploded.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah. I can't even imagine like how challenging that must have been for you and your family to not only have to feel that, but then probably have a lot of people like feeling like they're in your personal business when you guys just really needed some time to like grieve.
For sure.
I remember too, because I remember right after it happened, it was like trending on Twitter. And I was like, what? Like, how is this a trending topic? Like, it's been 5 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just exploded on the internet. And I was like, oh my God. And like, I don't know, were you like looking online when it happened, or were you just ignoring it?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Until, like our friends like confirmed that like it started, you know, getting out
crazy.
there and
Yeah.
blowing up online.
Do you mind telling us how he passed?
No. So yeah, like last year, he took a laced Xanax pill, laced with fentanyl, and overdosed and died.
That is insane that like laced drugs are out there in the capacity that they are.
So scary, and now people are like, it's like over 200 people a day are dying from fentanyl.
And I've been seeing that a lot because I also
rising.
I know a few people who have passed from fentanyl.
Yeah.
Me too.
And
Another friend of ours, her brother passed from
And
fentanyl.
my ex, his best friend, passed, remember, from
Oh,
fentanyl,
yes,
and they found him in the
that's
hotel room. And it's just a little too common. Like it's kind of crazy. I don't know who does the lacing. Like I don't know how this works. I don't know if it's intentional or not.
I feel like it's intentional.
Is it?
I feel like it is.
Yeah. That's
I feel like that's how
insane.
this country kind of works. Like low key.
Yeah, right.
honest.
No, that makes sense. But I just the fentanyl thing is so scary. But anyways, so
Was that something that your brother had ever like had before, or was he like
a Xanax.
No, not
I'm like, I take a Xanax on a flight over more than 4 hours.
No,
so.
I'm sorry, like with fentanyl, because like he overdosed. Like, is it something that he had ever tried before, or is it something
I'm
that
not
it was just like okay?
But he definitely struggled with addiction.
Okay.
For a while. I would say he says it was like when he was like really young, but from what I'm 5 years older than him. He was 19 when he passed, and now I'm 25. But he started struggling, I would say, around like maybe 16 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
The
know?
crazy
And then-
thing is, though, you can't even blame addiction. Because like I just said, like
No.
I take a Xanax for any flight over 4 hours.
Yeah.
You can't even, that's
for
like,
sure.
you can't even
I just
blame
didn't
that.
know if it was something was like. Had your brother ever even like tried fentanyl before, and then all like because
I know
like,
people
for
like,
you
do that.
haven't, and if you had taken a
No.
Xanax,
Do people
and,
try fentanyl? I thought that's just something you lace with.
No, I don't know.
I don't know
think
how
like,
that
you can
works.
like do it. I don't know. Like,
it's like-
I don't know.
Got
I'm not
it.
like a drug.
You can,
I don't
okay.
know.
I thought it was something that you could try.
Try.
Because of it's a certain high that it brings you.
Got it,
So
got it.
I just didn't know if maybe that was something that your brother had like experienced before, if this was
Got
his
it.
first time, and then that was just. Again, like you said, you have taken a Xanax before.
Yeah.
So for you to take it and it be laced with something,
So
that
scary.
would not be something that you'd ever tried. So that
No, that is so scary to think about,
Yeah.
seriously. And that's the thing. It's like it doesn't even matter if it's an addict or not, because it's like you can't really blame the addiction, because that's like
Yeah.
you got laced with something.
Yeah.
Like it's not fair in that capacity.
Did your brother suffer with any kind of like depression or anything, or
For
was it just
sure.
okay?
Like mental, like yeah, definitely like was depressed, but like just like the funniest guy. Like,
Yeah.
But like and just like had the most amazing soul.
And that's what he was known for, right, on TikTok, was like his personality and stuff.
Yeah, like he was so funny.
Yeah.
I love. he's
Correct
so
me
funny.
if I'm wrong. Was your brother like known for being more open with his fans on TikTok about like mental health and things like that? Like, wasn't something that he was like he talked about being like, hey, sometimes we go through stuff and
Definitely. And like a few days before he passed, he literally started a Discord to like help people
Yeah.
that were feeling low. like help them out and like know that like he was there. Like it was like just an open chat room for everyone to like help each other out.
So this was definitely not something that was like an intentional thing. He was like actively working towards like bringing awareness and helping other people.
Yeah, and like while struggling with addiction, and he was like really trying to get sober too, which was just like so sad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that is crazy that it's just like an epidemic at this point. Like I even have seen billboards that are like,
it is really, really, it's so sad
and tragic. Yeah.
So this obviously has been like an extremely traumatic experience for you and your family because you guys are all really close. There's 4 of you, your mom, your dad, and then just your brother and you.
Yes.
Correct. So like because this is something that is an epidemic and it is so terrible, what was like your guys' grieving process together? Like how can you give any advice to anybody who might also be going through something similar, who's lost a loved one, lost someone to this same exact issue? Like what did you guys do?
For us, luckily like our community in Laguna like came together and everyone was just like coming over and just like sitting with us on the couch, or just like immediately we were just surrounded by people that like loved us or just wanted to be there for us, which we're so grateful for. That really did help a lot, like having people consistently in the house, because it was just horrible. Like it was just horrible. And I had like some friends fly in, so that was amazing. And I feel very blessed about that. Yeah, like the grieving process, I mean, I feel like I blacked out. Like the whole, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like it's, like I definitely like didn't sleep for days or like forever. I feel like I didn't eat. You know, friends would of course try to like make me eat and sorry, got distracted over a little fly. But it was just all fucked up. It was just fucked up. And just awful. But the way that like we grieved was just like with people that knew him, loved him, or didn't, and they just showed up. And like we didn't do anything like ourselves besides like, I don't know, like it's so, I don't know how to describe it. Like we were reading books. I pretty much was sleeping the whole time. I feel like sleeping.
Did his fans show a lot of support for you guys? Like, were they like super like loving and
for sure? Yeah. But then of course, like you would see comments too, like just bad ones, because you know this was a public thing.
Yeah.
Of course, there was like bad comments, just like
people are
being
just
like, where were the parents? Where was like the family? Like it's like
people have no idea about anything,
so
and then they
up.
just like comment things, and it's like, yeah, that was real helpful. Yeah. Thank you for adding that to this.
But
like what did you want my parents to do? Sit with him 24/7 and like monitor his every move? Like he was 19. Like he was technically an adult. Like he could do what he wanted.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But like everyone was like, I mean, of course all the fans so supportive, and like I see it, like I see like posts every single day still that I get tagged in, and I love it. Like I may not comment on it or like it, but I see it. Yeah. And I'm very grateful for everyone's love and support.
Yeah.
And then I see it like when I go to like Jaden's concerts, you know, I have his fans coming up to me and like crying, and then I cry, and then it's like they give gifts, and it's just like this whole thing, and it's really special.
Yeah.
It's special like now.
Well, and I think it's obviously extremely tragic, but I think the only thing that is nice for you guys is he kind of has a legacy, you know, like there's so many people that like,
it was just going to say it keeps his energy alive. Like his, like the energy that you said he was like, had the best personality, like his fans coming up to you and like remembering him has to make you feel like, wow, my brother had like such a big impact on people.
For sure. No, it's crazy to see. Yeah. It's crazy to see the impact that he had. It's really beautiful. And I'm so grateful that's my brother.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you guys you guys started a foundation, right?
Yes, we did.
And so is that for mental health or is that for anti-fentanyl? Both?
Kind of both. Yeah. Like for instance, like we work closely with End Overdose. So they like give out like Narcan and stuff like that. And now they're like really pretty much like every festival, like anything, like EDC. Who owns that
that's
again?
good.
Like
Insomniac, yeah.
Work with like Insomniac, and also they were at Coachella. They have like tents set up where you can get Narcan training, get Narcan in the mail. So people stop
Narcan
dying.
is what? Like it's like the anti.
Like if you're having an overdose on, like an opioid. I always like get opiates, opioid.
I think
God,
it's
so
I don't know.
bad.
I
Like
think
I'm like
it's the same thing.
my brain is like not well right now. A little hungover, sorry, but you just get training for it, and then you
so
spray it in your
let's say
nose and
somebody got it, so that would actually stop it. They would reverse.
it would reverse.
Oh,
but
wow.
there's like steps. You wouldn't just like see someone and like shoot it up their nose. But I mean, if you did, like nothing would happen if they weren't overdosing on like the proper.
Got it.
Okay.
But there's steps. So you gotta like check the eyes, like check the pulse, and then spray the Narcan.
That's actually really cool though that there is like that we're at least raising awareness for a solution, because imagine like you could potentially help somebody like that.
Well, and even like I saw that you posted on Instagram, like before Coachella, like you said, there was a tent at Coachella. So like at these larger festivals where people are, doing drugs, it's like to have these things in place that when something like that does happen, there is a safe space for someone to go or their friends to go to get help. Like that's really, really incredible.
Yeah, and I definitely highly recommend to everyone listening to go on to End Overdose and get that Narcan training, and then they'll send you some in the mail. That's cool.
And what is
you
the
never know.
foundation called, just so
Coops
listeners
Advice
can know?
Foundation.
One more time.
Coops Advice Foundation.
We'll
Great.
post it too.
Yeah,
so like everyone can
absolutely.
see it and learn more about it.
But so we work closely with them, and we just started 2 podcasts. One's oh my God, my brain. We just started 2. I honestly couldn't tell you what it's called.
What they're called. Okay, it's okay.
We gotta edit this out. Huh? So one of them is called Vulnerable. The other one
Thank
is
you,
called
Alex.
Coops Advice Podcast. And where we're just bringing like some of like Cooper's friends, whatever, and discuss whatever you want to discuss.
No, that's
pretty much.
amazing.
And then also, we just started working closely with like the DEA to spread awareness for like fentanyl. Yeah, like fentanyl is really just killing everyone. So
No, that's really scary.
it's really scary.
But
it's
I think
really
it
sad.
is, and I think that's like the only silver lining is like his legacy lives on, might save somebody else's life, truthfully, because he had such a big impact. And now you guys are able to like work on anti-fentanyl and also mental health and all of that. So it's like, who knows how many people he'll be able to reach.
Yeah, like that Discord is still going on too. That he started,
that's
and there's like over
amazing.
like 225,000 active users.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
That's holy shit.
225,000. That's what I said, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Oh, that's
That's
incredible.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I've
And
been
it
in there
has
before.
to be a safe space for people to also go to, like if they are struggling with addiction.
sure.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see because like one time in Mexico, Sabrina and I were there after the passing. We were there to like spread some of his ashes at our favorite place that we've been going to since forever. We went on the Discord and it was cool. We were just chatting with people and like they were like asking us questions. We're like, we're just responding back. It was a really cool way to interact with people
that's really
loved
cool.
him.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Of course.
Because I think that there are people that will impact. Okay, but now we'll lighten up the mood. Well, maybe. We're going to talk about dating, so maybe later. So let's talk about dating in LA. This is like a big part of, I would say, our podcast because our listeners love the dating convo. Like anytime we clip dating clips, we're like 3 times.
Well,
as
I think
much.
it just because it definitely like affects a lot of people's lives. Like
True.
unless you're like married.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot
Yeah.
of people who, even if you're in a serious relationship, like you are still dating someone where there becomes like new obstacles and new things you have to face. So our listeners love the
it.
dating.
Okay. Well, and I
So
think
you
they
love dating?
Yeah, I think our listeners too. Like a lot of them don't live here, so I think like they like are so curious about like dating in LA, and then especially too,
Which
like,
just like don't do it.
Don't do it.
yes. Okay, so let's talk about that. So you are this like LA girly, stylist, influencer, Hollywood, celebrity, red carpet, whatever. What's dating like for you? What has it been like?
Hard. Like I don't know. It's so shitty here.
Yeah.
Everyone sucks. Like if if you don't live in LA, like you're honestly kind of like lucky because I'm sure there's like really good men out where you are.
LA is hard too because I feel like
There are, yeah. She had to outsource. She outsourced.
Yeah.
Kelsi outsourced, and that's iconic because outsourcing sometimes.
Oh my
can
God,
save
the
a life.
funniest was when
Outsourcing can save a life.
do you remember when you
how'd you
started
find this one?
dating? You started dating Mans. This was a few months ago, and Parker comes over and she tells Kel, she goes, "You're an inspiration."
I literally verbatim go, "You're an inspiration," because dating here is literally it's so hard to find a good guy that won't hurt you and that
Like
actually
wants to be
says
monogamous and like believes in like commitment and loyalty.
Yeah.
exactly, and that like actually like isn't like a pathological liar.
Yep.
Or like like there's so many guys that are like, oh, I have this, I have that, and then it's
Yeah.
like you don't have shit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also
Like,
the
yeah,
lie.
and you ain't shit.
I'm like,
Yeah, true.
did your mom ever teach you that like you're not supposed to lie? Like
Yeah.
that's actually like a rule number one when you're little.
Crazy. Like
When you're little, don't lie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't steal and don't lie.
I learned that lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think what's hard too with guys in LA is like, I think there's like an underlying, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they don't want to, maybe they have a lot of options. Maybe they're insecure. I don't know. I've dated I had to kiss a lot of frogs. Is that the saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys, I'm 2 for 2
And yeah,
right
you
now.
did.
I'm 2 for 3 actually, but still, that's majority.
Yeah.
But so yeah, and like you end up liking somebody, and you think maybe you guys have like a connection, and then come to find out there's like either another girl, multiple girls. They're lying to you. Maybe they don't have a job.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe they don't have a job.
there's
Maybe
just-
you're like paying for their life.
yeah, I've done that. Been there, done that.
I feel you, sister.
It really
Sugar mama.
is just so insane to like observe the dating culture in Los Angeles. When you kind of like are either in a serious relationship or you take yourself out of the scene a little bit more and you're just watching everyone, even the people that you thought at one point were like, oh, you guys are so cute, you have it together, or it's portrayed a certain way on social media. When you like remove yourself and then view things and like dig into certain things, you're all, oh, that's so weird.
Yeah.
You guys all do not have your shit together at all. And there's a lot of toxic behavior going on.
Well,
that we
100%.
glorify.
A good point that you made was how normalize. Okay, so like from a female perspective, before you like end up dating a good guy, like one day, if you live in LA, like we normalize a lot of like not normal behavior. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like
Yeah.
we normalize a lot of like toxic shit.
We definitely do, and it's oh my God, I
Yeah.
will never allow that
I did it for
ever
years.
again.
We also
Ever.
normalize like hiding your significant other.
Yeah.
because people come and steal them.
Or not even the stealing, but also just like
No, my ex was just finding them. Like they weren't trying to steal him.
Yeah, no.
He was
that's what I'm saying. Like it was
Literally, my ex was just like attracting these girls, and he was like, you know what? Bye, babe. I'm gonna go slip it into this girl tonight. I'm like, okay, have fun. You know,
No,
great.
it isn't even so much like someone comes and steals. It really is that like people don't want to let anyone know that they're in something so they can stay open to like
yeah,
what
yeah,
else
yeah,
could
yeah.
come.
Exactly.
And I think that, yeah, and I
Options.
think that's so strange. Like I have dated guys in the past where it's like your friends didn't know about me, or like you was very hush hush, and it was like, oh, you hung out, but like we didn't like show any affection in front of anyone, so no one knew you're together. And like I can't even imagine now with Mans, like every person in his life knows that he is a girlfriend, knows who I am.
Normalize not normal shit.
Yeah, we
Yes,
normalize
it's so
like
weird.
situationships.
Situationships,
Like, oh
yeah.
my, fuck a
and you know what else?
situationship.
What else
no.
is not normal that I think a lot of us do? I mean, I did this for years, is like not defining the relationship. Like leaving it undefined. That's not fucking normal. Why am I spending time with someone who doesn't want to define what this is? That is not normal.
No.
And I did it for so long. Like,
I feel you. I did it for so long too, where it was like literally insane.
And I would
Drove
be like,
me insane.
No, and then you'd be like dating somebody, and then like maybe they're dating someone else, so then you're like, okay, well maybe I'll date someone else, but then it's like we're still dating each other. Like that's also fucking weird. Like what are we all doing?
No, I agree. It's very strange. I don't miss the days of dating. There is no part of me that's like, that sounds like a good time, I want to go back to that. Nope.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like you had mentioned before that you would have been down to be like a young wife, young mom, right? Like you had told me
sure.
that.
Yeah.
So you were not even trying to necessarily like play the field. You would have been down if the right person.
For sure.
Was
But I'm not
there.
just gonna like do it to do it. Like this
100%.
person has to be like my person, like my best friend.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I'm just like,
But
I
sometimes,
would not settle.
the LA situationships.
Yeah.
They really manipulate your mind.
Yes,
and
they
you're
do.
like,
Yes,
wait,
they
maybe
do.
I love you. Oh,
Yes,
wait.
they do.
Yeah, it's just like, no.
Wait, I have a question. Can you guys name like any friends that you guys have that are in Los Angeles that are married?
No.
I have like 2 friends.
Damn. I can't.
I can't name one person. Holy shit, I gotta get out of
Okay,
here.
I can name one. I can name 2. That's it.
Probably the same 2 that
Yeah,
are
probably
that
the
are
same
mine.
2.
I'm like, do I know these people?
Yeah, I mean, probably. But yeah, I can only, that's
Oh,
a
I
great
think I know what
point.
you're
I can only
thinking
name 2. That is why I was literally telling Mans this the other night because we went to an engagement and I was like, are we getting invited to this wedding? And he was like, probably not. And I was like, damn, I wanted to go. And he's like, why? I was like, because I am born and raised in LA. So I have been to one wedding in my life because nobody gets married. Like I don't ever get to go to weddings ever because nobody
I'm so
gets
scared.
married.
It's just this whole thing just scared the shit out of me.
It's
I'm not
so
gonna
strange.
lie.
But okay, but like obviously, I mean, listen, Utah's to the extreme because I think sometimes people get married a little bit too quick, in my
sure.
opinion. But like marriage is something that like people very much like believe in, and that is like their goal in life is like, oh yeah, like one of the things I want to do is like be married and have a family.
Yeah.
Like family and being in a committed, loving relationship is a priority to people along with
Yeah.
like having a career. Like it's not just like, oh, I'm just gonna have a job. It's like, no. Like everyone there has like such like a love for family, like being like your being a part of a community that believes in family is so important to them. And I'm like, here, you don't have that.
Yeah.
So you kind of start to get a little bit, for lack of a better word, brainwashed.
Because your surroundings dictate, like, you know, your feedback loop. So if you're surrounded by people, especially in the LA nightlife industry, that are not married, not having kids, not family oriented, you start to believe like, oh, I don't need that either.
Which is why I'm almost 32. And I'm just now in a healthy relationship.
No, but seriously, it's so true. Because even I grew up, I mean, because I also didn't have that in my personal life. Like my parents were separated. I didn't have siblings. I didn't come from that background. So I always was like, oh.
Which I don't think that was blamed on Los Angeles. I think that was just your guys' like that was just
my
circumstance.
But then I started, you know, we started a business young in the LA scene. So I never like wanted to get married, never wanted to have kids. And I also think it had to do with like just dating really shitty people. Now, like I date the best person and I'm like, oh my God, 100%. I want to experience all these things with you. But then I look at my exes and I'm like, no wonder I never wanted those things because you guys suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and now your mother is like desperately trying to get you married.
My mom is.
Like tomorrow.
She's so hot.
No, she's ridiculous. She called me the other night, just like a quick tangent. And 9:30 p.m., I'm sitting on the couch watching Desperate Housewives. She texts me, can we talk? I'm like, the fuck? Sure. Why? It's so out of the blue. I'm like, okay. So I pick up the phone. She's like, you know, I've been thinking, I'm really worried about you. I'm like, about what? She's like, you're not getting any younger. You need to get married. You need to be having kids. This is keeping me up at night. I'm like, this is keeping you up at night? I'm like, lady, I'm in Forbes. Like, what's your deal? She's like, yeah, but you know, my family in India, they don't care about that. And she's like, I'm just saying, like, it really stresses me out. Like, you really need to settle down. You really need to get working on this. This is a 45-minute conversation. I'm like, okay, I have to go.
like, listen, Susan is about to see Mike.
Dude.
They're going to get back together.
It's true.
I gotta get off the phone.
But honestly, like now that I watch Desperate Housewives religiously, I'm like, okay, I could understand why this is kind of fun to have like, you know, like that phase of life where you like are married and like have your friends who I figured this out too from watching Desperate Housewives. So I never wanted kids. Now, if I have kids, my friends have to also have them.
100%.
That's now that I've watched the show, I'm like, you can only do this as a team. Because otherwise, like if one of you has them, you don't want to hang out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it needs to be like, oh, you're a mom, I'm a mom, you're a mom. So now we all do things.
And then your kids are friends. And then that way, like you guys can all hang out together. No, for sure.
I would, now that I've seen the show, I'm like, okay, I could do this, but I need I couldn't do it like just me.
Yeah, but that makes sense. Yeah. Like you didn't know if you wanted kids because like look at your surroundings. Like you're like the friends that we have had.
Yeah.
In the last 10 years, that's as long as I've been here. That's the only amount of time I can speak for that. Like, why would you want to have kids and get married if no one else is. And
Yeah.
everyone else is doing like grinding and working.
100%.
And now I'm like, yeah, I still very, very much love my career, want to have it. But along with that, I just am going to make my marriage and having children a priority as well.
For sure.
No, I remember you told me you were like, I'm ready to pop them out if
it's the right one.
it's the right one.
Yeah.
Which is like the main point, is not settling.
Yeah. But to go back to that, it's actually crazy because I was thinking about it. The people that are getting married moved out of LA.
Yeah.
They
No,
moved
you
out.
like,
And they
because like
found,
you
like-
grow out of that scene. Like even
Yeah.
now, like when I don't really go out as much anymore, but like now when I do, I'm just like, I see it from such a different perspective. You know what I mean?
And just like, ew, it's like you're 35, like still like
Go
going
home,
after parties.
go
It's 4 a.m.
home.
and like you're 40
No.
doing blow at an after party.
We
Like,
talk
come
about this all the
on.
time.
It's literally so icky to me. And it's like,
It
okay, you're
is.
wasting your money
is
on a
the
bag
ick.
of cocaine.
That's the ick.
And you're in an apartment
Yeah.
with your
In debt.
7-year girlfriend. Probably not going to propose to her. Probably cheating on her. Most
You probably
likely.
live at the Camden.
Yeah, probably live in the Canyon. Probably 1,600 fine. One of the two.
You go to Equinox.
Literally, you go to Equinox.
Yeah.
You go to Erewhon. Maybe.
Yes,
Maybe.
that's the highlight of your day.
But your money doesn't go to a house. It goes to,
No.
to the cocaine at the
Yes.
4 a.m.
And the
after
bottle
parties
service.
in Los
And then you
Angeles.
do like one thing a month that is like, you know, a normal thing. You're like, I'm so wholesome.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you go to a pumpkin patch for the Instagram and you're like, I'm so wholesome.
I'm like,
wow,
y'all
I'm so normal.
I'm so upset about the word wholesome. I can't
No,
even tell
yeah.
you. I want to throw the word wholesome in the trash.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys, just live a normal life. It's actually
Oh
not
my
wholesome
God.
for me to go to a pumpkin patch. It's not
Yeah.
wholesome for me to go look at Christmas lights. It's actually
Yeah.
what normal people do. You guys are just so jacked
No,
and
100%.
twisted.
I
Yeah.
think too, what's so interesting for me to see from different perspectives is I think a lot of people think, and I get this based on what people comment on social media, they look at like celebrities or people who are like in that industry and they like glorify these relationships. And then all of us who are so up close to that world, I'm like, you guys have no idea how many of these relationships are so toxic and are so like the opposite of what you see. Like you see one thing on E! News that's like couple goals, and like meanwhile all of us are like, that's not the couple goals that y'all think it is. Like
No.
we see the real thing.
For sure. And I think like something with social media too is like, I feel like if you're really in a happy place with your partner,
Yeah.
you're not really posting
No.
about it. Like if you're like over posting your partner, I don't know,
Sus.
something sus about it.
Yeah,
I don't
I agree with
know.
you.
It's like, it's just weird.
I think it just depends, but that's like such an LA thing too. I feel like that's like here because like we're just, I don't know. There's just like a weird
I do agree with you. 'Cause-
opposition.
Yeah, because I feel like, at least for me, like if I were to post anything about Mans a few days in a row, I wouldn't think
Well, it's because
anything
you're
yet.
wholesome.
You're
I'm
wholesome.
so wholesome.
You're like you're not an LA girl though. like
Yeah,
you
no, I'm so
like you're not an LA rat, honey.
Yeah, no,
No,
you're not.
that is, I am definitely not an LA.
God, I like
LA girl.
guys, like it's so weird. Like because I wasn't really going out that much. Now I feel like I've been going out definitely a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
And just like the LA sewer rats are out to play.
No, the sewer
and I'm
rats
like,
are
oh
out.
my God.
I was actually just at dinner with one of my friends. Well, not just, it was a couple months ago. But and she has dated like, she's dated many celebrities, but also dated like many normal guys, whatever. And she was like, it's so funny to see like people glorify these people. And it is like the most toxic dynamics of all time. Like you are miserable within it. And you know this from experience, like what
Yeah.
is like, you know, dating somebody like that. And I'm not saying everyone, like I'm not going to generalize. I'm sure
Yeah,
there's good
but,
ones
like,
out there too. But like
knows?
this like LA influencer-y Hollywood scene, it's like, it's not all y'all think.
But
No.
to be honest, I do feel like there's a difference between LA and the scene in LA.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
Los Angeles, like there is a
Yeah.
there are people that you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
100%.
You guys go to work, you do your job, and then you're done.
Yeah.
And then there's the scene of
The
LA.
scene.
Yeah.
And then those are the people you gotta watch out. Those are the
Those
sewer
are
rats.
the sewer rats you gotta watch out
And
for.
by the way, we're
They
talking
literally-
about men because we all date men, but some of the girls are just as bad.
Oh,
Like, let's not
honey.
forget.
No. Yeah, the girls.
I am an equal. I believe in equality.
Oh, yeah.
So it is not just the men.
No, I
is
am
not just
yeah,
the men.
we're all about fairness for sure. I'm sorry, but there are some girls that I am like, you are confused why you are single. I am not.
Yeah.
I am not confused why you are single. There
my
is
God.
a reason
There is
for it.
toxicity on both genders. I
Absolutely.
don't want to even just put this on men because it is literally both genders.
Yeah.
100%.
Like you both add to this problem and you're both playing the game.
The tea.
Yeah.
One day on my deathbed, I'll give you guys a memoir of all that I've seen in my life at Viper and celebrity insider information. But no, it's definitely like such an illusion. A lot of it is an illusion.
Such an illusion.
Yeah. So, but your dating life, you have a type, which I just think is so funny because you really do have a type.
I do.
Which
have
I
a
understand because
type.
I used to be the same way. Like I used to typecast, so I understand.
Yeah.
I understand it.
But the thing is, like, I really didn't think I had a type until one day, like, Alex, like, really, like, panned it out for me. Every guy I dated, and I was like, oh, shit. They're all the same, but, like,
I'm holding auditions. If you look like this, you need to apply.
Yeah.
oh, my God.
Raise your hand.
Like, but, it's so weird. I don't know.
But we've been friends with you for so long, so we've seen your growth too within like how you date. Because you also, I mean, anybody starting out in the LA scene, it's easy to get sucked into that shit. It's easy to fall for the wrong
Like
things. It's easy.
Yeah, like my first summer here, I got sucked in, but I'll always hold a special place for that person. So but yeah, I don't know what
But
to
you've
say.
just seen so many different types of relationships.
I have. Like I went from something that was like better than the last.
Yeah.
Jesus, that was awful, but it's okay.
Yeah. And just like, oh my God.
I wish I could just like name drop.
Yeah.
And be like, fuck you.
Just go it. No, I feel you. But there's
Every single ex of Parker's tuning into this.
Don't tune in.
this episode to see if they got mentioned.
Oh my
100%.
God.
I always think about that because we've talked about a lot of my exes. And I always think about that. I'm like, do you guys secretly listen?
That'd be kind of crazy. But
They might.
I mean,
They shouldn't,
one of
but
my
they
exes
might.
knows I'm on this today, coming here today, so I'm sure he'll tune in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for being a loyal ex-boyfriend.
She winks.
I wink.
No, that's so funny. Well, anyways, that was our 2 cents on dating. Okay, so speaking of dating, to kind of wrap up the episode, we always end with a sexy. This is like something that's really sexy to you right now. It could be physical, emotional, could be in general, could be specific. It doesn't matter. We've said everything. Do you want to go first?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, she's like ready.
I do.
Tell
To me,
us.
what's sexy is communication.
Word.
Hell
Retweet.
yes.
Retweet.
It's a new thing that I'm like, not on my end. I'm like a really crazy communicator, but like to have a current partner that I'm with that is also like that has made this new relationship so amazing.
That is something I actually do wish men understood, just from guys I've dated in the past compared to who I date now. Like, you guys would actually do yourself a disservice when you don't talk to us.
100%.
Like, you're not, I think sometimes in their, and like some of my exes, I can get in their head a little bit. It's kind of like this, I don't need to discuss this, because it's like a masculine thing sometimes. But I'm like, you're actually doing yourself a disservice, because if you just communicate, this will go a lot better.
100%.
Not a mind reader.
No.
So I agree with that.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Well, okay. So yesterday when I was driving to the airport to come to LA, I got a flat tire and I was just like, dude, okay, I get it. Thank you. Like, I don't know what the lesson is, but I understand. So I went and I called Mans. I dropped my car off with him and then I took his car to the airport and then I called him like an hour into my drive, so I live like an hour and a half away from the Salt Lake City airport. So I had to drive an hour and a half to get there. So I'm like racing to get to the airport. Yeah. And I call him and I was like, okay, I'm almost to the airport. And he goes, okay. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just at the tire place getting your tire fixed. And I was like, I dropped it off with you an hour ago. He's like, yeah, but like it needs to be fixed before you get back. So that is my sexiest thing is the fact that he did not even, I didn't ask, I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
He just was like, oh yeah, it's going to be fixed by the time you get back. You'll have a new tire.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well just like, let me know how much I owe you. He's like, oh no, it's fine. I'll just take care of it. I was like, what? Yeah. So I get a flat tire
10
and
points.
you get screwed.
No, it's true.
So that's my sexiest thing.
Wow.
Is
Yeah, I love
him
that.
him fixing my tire
Oh, I
without
can't wait to meet
asking.
him. He sounds just like so amazing.
An inspiration.
An inspiration. An
Truly, truly to us all. Okay, no, I understand mine is like semi-similar, a little different. But so we always have been obviously self-funded. I also come from like a single mom. Like I've never had anyone like help me financially ever, right? Like we've done everything on our own. And my sweet man's invested in our business a little bit recently, and he's just like such an angel. And I had obviously said, you know, like, oh, like this will be a loan and like I'll pay it back. And of course, and that's like what I still intended to be. But to him, he's like, I don't care. Like this is an investment into you and your career. And like, we've never had an investor. We've never taken money. We just have never had anything like that. And so that's like a really big deal for me. That's like my version of like, especially because he did it because he knows how important my career is to me.
Yeah.
And so I think for that, also the intention behind it is really sweet. So that's it.
And
Okay,
inspiration.
so it actually was similar. I thought, you know how sometimes you say,
Same
okay,
thing.
mine's the same.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
it ends up that she'll be like,
Right.
a grill is my favorite. Like,
true.
so sometimes like it's not the same. So that's why I was like, oh gosh, what is she about to come up with?
Bag
But it
Gal
actually was
Celeste.
similar.
It's true.
Yeah.
So that was like such a big thing. And I was just like, and I told him, I was like, I've never in my life, like taken money in any sense from anybody. And so that was just like, he's like, no, like build the rest of the business that you want to build, you know, cause it does take capital to go make more of it.
Yeah.
And that was something that I was like, oh my God, no
No,
one's
that's
ever
beautiful.
done that for us.
That's
No,
beautiful.
that's so
Seriously,
nice.
that's really, really,
He's the
really
best.
sweet. And
Yeah.
I think he's amazing. You guys both have amazing partners.
all
you guys
three
are
of
both
us.
all three of us. Yeah, this is a little new. So
All three of us.
Look how nervous she's going.
She's in the giddy stages.
Please listen to this.
Yeah, no, that was like super special to us. Okay, well, guys, thank you for tuning in. Parker, where can everyone find you on social media?
Just Parker Blaine on TikTok, Instagram. There I am.
There she is.
There I am.
We'll be posting her too. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I think I'm accidentally stealing Kelsey's line, but please rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend.
Subscribe.
Anything.
Subscribe.
You guys can find us on IG at Smart as Sexy or on TikTok and YouTube at Smart as Sexy Pod. We changed the name, you guys. So
We did.
Smart as Sexy Pod. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.